First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Samantha Testa, I do have to break in a second. Keep me on top of that. I know we have Ryan coming up, but I want to squeeze in Sam. Good morning, Samantha Colosimo Testa.
Guys, what's going on?
Okay, you've been able to hear some of what we've just talked about. Let's start with Katie Aiello. What are your thoughts?
I mean, everything's, I guess, interesting to say the least. I mean, just listening to Chad Davis's conversation was interesting in regards to the whole situation. You know, we talk about open and transparency. I mean, look back to the Harbor Point. I think back in 2016, we tried to put a moratorium because property sales were going through, and it really didn't conform what was going on with the Harbor Point. I think the same thing needs to go on with the hospital area, a moratorium, no sales, no purchases until everybody figures out what's going on. I mean, to me, that would be the only thing that makes sense, especially when you're talking about what Chad just talked about. I mean, air rights. I mean, I had no idea that was even a thing, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. I mean, even being on the council, I mean, that was never brought up to us. I mean, so there's a lot of moving parts that I think don't need to be moving until everything gets figured out.
Yeah. At this point, everybody's, I think we got to just take a deep breath. That if the city is moving forward on something that might affect the footprint of the hospital, it should be communicating that with the hospital and with the county, and exactly. Vice versa. It should be everybody should be communicating.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, yep.
You really did, and I mean I think that's the most important part. When you have a $300 million or whatever the monetary amount for this hospital that's going down, you have Steve Wynn donating $50 million. I think that it really gets to the point where people are scratching their heads. Like, how do you have this much of an investment going into the downtown area and nobody's talking about what's going on in and around that space? So I think, again, you hit the nail on the head when you said everyone needs to just take a break, stop, take a deep breath, and really go back and sit down at the table and figure out what's going on. Because the thing that's questionable to me is how, when you originally had the MOA with the city for the parking garage, was Kennedy Plaza garage in that MOA. So what changed from the original MOA to now? You know, obviously they needed the utilization for that garage. So what changed from the original signing of the MOA to now?
Right.
Well, he backed out of
it. But they wouldn't need the Kennedy Plaza garage in that MOA if the Mohawk Valley Health System wasn't using that garage to begin with.
Right.
Does that make sense?
They had 200 spaces they were going to be using out of the garage.
Right, but why was the city a willing participant to put the Kennedy Plaza garage in that MOA, and then all of a sudden say, oh, well, the Mohawk Valley Health System didn't need it? Obviously, there was a need that they were willing to fix that garage for the Mohawk Valley Health System.
Yep.
Otherwise, the Mohawk Valley Health System wouldn't have had the Kennedy Plaza garage in the original MOA.
I mean, Sam, you've been behind the scenes before. So let's be honest and just call it what it is. This is a
stick it to you
contest. This is a gotcha contest going on.
You have literally not had Paul Mary on the radio in almost 2 years. There was a reason that he went on the radio and talked to you guys about this deal.
There was absolutely
something
correct.
That was in it for him, and this was it. Whether it was to stick it to you or not, you know, there was something going on that made him go on the radio to explain the situation now, where he was able to sit there and say, hey, listen, guys, I've sold the Kennedy Plaza garage. I mean, you're not going to have Tony Picenti on the radio with the Mohawk Valley Health System saying, well, there's not a right situation with him selling the garage. I mean, would you, first of all, again, listening to Chad Davis's conversation, would you sell a garage knowing that there was air rights to not be able to build a hotel on top of it?
Well, you would have to know that to begin with.
You would, and
you would have to understand that when
if you're a developer and you're investing millions in this case, would you buy it knowing that the hospital doesn't want it built and you have to go through them to get permission to use half the building? But here's something else further, Sam, and I normally wouldn't reveal this, but I'm going to, because I think we're not able to. We've reached out to the developer and have had no success so far. But we received a tip. Are you okay with revealing this tip?
Yeah, I can't say who I got it from, but
that said the developer, there is no deal, and the developer does not appreciate the fact that their name was brought into the mayor's announcement. Now, that could be just somebody that doesn't know anything.
What?
That is the tip that we received.
We've heard it from two different sources, I think.
Guys, not for nothing. You don't think that this is embarrassing for everybody?
This would be horribly embarrassing.
If you look at the whole entire situation, I'm listening to you guys on the radio and listening to what's going on. I mean, this bickering back and forth, if you're a developer, would you want your name brought up in the middle of this?
Correct.
You're saying that the county doesn't know what's going on, the Mohawk Valley Health System doesn't know what's going on. I mean, to me, if I'm going into development and I'm investing this much money into a parcel, I would say, hey, guys, I want to be in good faith in everybody going into this deal, not even getting before the Common Council, because how many times has a developer been embarrassed in front of the city, that announcement that has been made from the mayor, and then getting in front of the Common Council and your deal not going through? Yeah. I mean, it's happened with the asphalt plant, Stewart's, this, that. I mean, there's a number of
doesn't this feel like another Stewart's all over again? With
it's
miscommunication
deja vu every time.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what it gets down to. And it's like, I mean, I'm talking to council members. They had no idea. They're sitting on committees that they've heard about the Kennedy Plaza garage. They're investing this much money, and then they'll say to me, "Sam, I didn't know that they were selling this." Like, you know what I mean? So that's where an open, transparent government needs to sit there and talk to their legislative body. Listen, think about this. How many press conferences have you seen that the administration has been at that you've seen council members there?
Right.
I can't tell you. Probably the last 20 press conferences, the last 20 ribbon cuttings, I have never seen a council member there. This one, I've seen council members there. Why?
Yeah.
Because you need council members on board in order to make sure that your deal goes through. Now
Correct.
They've got to be scratching their heads. How did I sit at a press conference and be willing and open to sell this parcel, knowing what's going on? Me, I would say, listen, I'm not even going near a sale of property. A moratorium needs to be put in place until everybody figures out what's going on. Because how am I going to sell a parcel to somebody when I don't even know if they have the air rights to even build a
right. And you know what's interesting too about your press conference, comments is that when have you not seen a county or state project press conference where the mayor has been in attendance? And Pisani wasn't even invited to this one. You would think.
Well, here's the problem. It goes back to that ridiculous analogy I made when it comes to the Olympics. Imagine if, the Olympics are a good thing. Yeah, they are. It's awesome. But somebody's got to tell Japan. Oh, they find out in a press conference that right? I mean, it just.
Hi, Japan. This is the Olympics. We're on our way.
We'll be there in 2 days.
Are we doing Morse code again?
Yeah. No, so I just, I mean, all I'm saying is that it's not about. First of all, is there a sale? Is the developer in? And is all of this true? Now we have two sources telling us that there's a lot about this that's not true. And so what is it? At the very least, not
finalized.
Right.
I mean, you're putting the pieces to the puzzle together, and you said yes. Is the media involved? And
it's our role. We should be involved.
When you're talking about it, if you're not talking about it, and somebody else isn't talking about it, who is?
Right.
Because these are very important pieces to a puzzle. To me, and this is beyond whether you agree with the hospital, where it should be, where it is. The project is going. You have a huge structure in the middle of downtown Utica going on right now. And honestly, it infuriated me when I even heard that the city wasn't involved in the MOA anymore. Now, I'm not saying whether the city didn't get a good deal by not bargaining, and I said that before. You know what I mean? If the city's willing and ready to get a better deal for the city, I'm all for that. But at the same time, this should not be happening 3 years after a project was initiated and that much money is being invested into that area. This discussion should not even be happening. And that's what infuriates me about it is what is everybody doing? Like this, it's honestly embarrassing. And I could put my whole life on the line for the city of Utica. And things like this, are the reason that I'm running again, because it's like, is everybody sleeping at the wheel? Like, what are you guys doing that this is being allowed to go on inside the city, especially with a project like this that's going on? It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. I mean, everybody's everybody's going to utilize this hospital, whether we like it or not. Like, nobody's going to choose when you get in an ambulance, if you need it, what hospital you're going to. Like that, if you're in the vicinity of that area, that's the hospital you're going to. Yeah. So everybody has a vested interest in and around this area of what's going on down there. And I'm not saying that this is hindering the progress of what's going on at the hospital by any means, but it does.
Well, it certainly, at the very least, it muddies up the water. There's no doubt about that. So, Samantha,
exactly.
We appreciate your time and your ability to be frank.
Your candor.
Listen, one thing that I got to say though, we're doing a golf tournament this Sunday, and I know you guys have talked with the guys before the East Utica Classic. I just want to commend everybody that's on that committee for a job well done. And you know, we talk about all the negatives inside the city that's going on, and this is one of the positives that are happening inside the city. You know, so
right, awesome.
I just want to commend those guys on their hard work and dedication and being willing and able to donate to a family in need in the area. And one last thing is good luck to Utica Post 229 Junior League tomorrow on their
night,
championship.
7 o'clock, Murnane Field. They take on.
I'll be there. Hey, listen,
downstate.
And not that I keep going, I know you got to go to radio break, but you know, I want to thank the Utica Police Department and Fire Department. They're doing they're driving the Utica Post 229 team to Murnane Field tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome!
So,
that's really cool.
Yeah, so a lot of positive things, and just wanted to highlight that. So
hopefully,
I appreciate your time.
Get a big win tomorrow night.
Guess what? You didn't have to do to me.
What was that?
Apologize at the end of this conversation.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Congratulations on your 2000 show.
Because the difference, the part that Katie doesn't know is I can't get a word in edges on you. I mean, I just...
it's a rare talent.
She's the one person I can't interrupt. This Sam
guys,
Testa.
That's experience. I've dealt with you guys on a negative and positive light, so I try and stay on the good side.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care, guys.
All
right, you too. Bye.
Right. Samantha Colosimo Testa.
This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. RAMP.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.